Wait, I don't need 24 hours. I don't have to talk to anybody. I know right now. And the answer's no, no. God, you sit around here and you spin your little webs and you think the whole world revolves around you and your money. Well, it doesn't, Mr. Potter. In the whole vast configuration of things, I'd say you were nothing but a scurvy little spider. And that goes for you, too. And it goes for you, too.
What are you doing?
That's what I don't get.
What do you mean?
Look, honey, I know this is one of your favorite movies, and yeah, it's supposed to be a Christmas classic. Great American classic. But scenes like that just prove this movie is totally out of date.
You gotta be kidding me. It is a classic. It will never be out of date.
Yeah, I can see how you might say that. It's all black and white and grainy and all. But seriously, how can you ever expect someone to act like that? It just doesn't make sense.
Act like who?
Like George. I mean, he is staring his dreams in the face, and he bats it away. The entire movie, the man's been talking about living large and dreaming big and traveling places, being a big shot, and then right there, Potter's offering it to him. He just storms out.
Yeah, but he loves his family.
It doesn't make any sense. I mean, think about it. He's not even thinking about his wife and kids. Wouldn't you like to go to New York a couple of times a year? Maybe go to Paris in the latest Vogue outfit?
Well, of course, but...
Exactly.
Oh, I don't know.
See, think about this. His friend just drove away in the latest luxury car, and he's still sitting here driving in the same old ride that he got married in. It doesn't make sense.
No. Yeah, but come on.
What about you? You and the kids. I mean, look at that. Look at it out there. Wouldn't you like to have a hybrid Prius or a big Cadillac? Think about it. What if I came home today and said, I've got a 6-figure raise. I can give you all that. What would you want me to do? Or what about Tanya and Karen? I mean, do you think they want their dad sitting here in poverty, withering away?
Well, I get what you're saying. I mean, we could finally take that trip to the Caribbean, and the girls could do a lot of stuff.
Exactly. Now you're starting to think. I mean, it seems like that this movie makes no sense. It's out of date.
Well, wait a minute. What about the savings alone?
What about it?
Well, there's a lot of people depending on George. They would have fallen apart under Potter. Doesn't that mean anything?
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess. But the movie still doesn't make any sense.
Well, I mean, the people didn't have money, but at least they had their houses. They wouldn't have that if George was working for Potter.
But that's just it. I mean, George could have it both ways. He could be rich and help all those people while working for Potter.
Yeah, right, whatever. You really think George is going to be able to help people when he's working for Henry Potter? I don't think so.
Well, of course he could. I mean, there's, of course, maybe not exactly, but this movie still makes no sense. It's completely out of date.
Watch the movie, honey, okay?
Well, good morning and welcome to part 1 of It's a Wonderful Life. We are so glad that you're here. I am so excited about this series. I have been waiting for the last 5 years to do this series, and so I invite you to come and be a part of it. Here's what we're going to do. For the next 5 weeks, we are going to show a clip from It's a Wonderful Life every Sunday. Then we're going to watch a modern-day family, just like we watched, how they respond to it. Then we're going to talk about how we can experience a wonderful life. So I encourage you to come and be a part of this series and bring a friend. This is a great time to invite people to church. Now, this movie clip that we just watched may be one of the famous clips throughout history. And this skit that we've just watched, they conjure up a lot of feelings within us, don't they? At least they do for me. This scene with George Bailey in Potter's office, it brings out a lot of emotion and different thoughts and feelings within us. Here's why. We've all been there. We've all had our Potter's office experience, haven't we? In fact, it's really kind of the tug-of-war in our life. It's really kind of the dilemma in our life. In fact, I would say that this represents the big choice in all of our lives. And we kind of talked about this 2 Sundays ago when I talked about shadow mission. You see, George Bailey here is struggling whether he is going to give in to his shadow mission. That's the counterfeit version of what he's supposed to become. Or if he's going to live out the real mission in his life. And it is a tough choice. You can see George weighing it there. And then he shakes Potter's hands and then he recoils. It's like, ooh, I think I might just be making a deal with the devil. But we know exactly what he's going through, don't we? And the reason we know is because we've all had experience with dealing with our shadow mission, that counterfeit version of what we are really supposed to become in life. One of the greatest struggles in our life is whether we are going to live out the real mission in our life, the real purpose that God has for us, or give in to our shadow mission. And this scene is so powerful because it represents the back and forth, the tug-of-war that we all feel and we all face. Because if I asked you this morning to be honest, and you couldn't lie, how many of you think that George should have taken the job from Potter? A lot of you would say yes. Then you'd go, no. Yes, no. And if I ask you, how many of you think he should have walked out of the room? You would say yes. Then you'd say no. Then you'd go, well, yes, but no. You see, we all get kind of schizophrenic when it comes to this shadow mission, real mission in our life. It kind of brings the schizo out in all of us big time. Let's just be honest, okay? I want to take this idea of shadow mission versus our real mission one step further. Because sometimes these words, shadow mission and real mission, they seem a little too professional to us. Doesn't quite seem like reality. So I want to take this idea and unwrap it one step further. And I want to speak to us about this morning in a very practical way. You see, what George was facing, when it really comes down to it, our shadow mission is equivalent to a conventional life. And our real mission is equivalent to an intentional life. And that's why there's such a rub in our lives over this huge choice that really we face probably almost every day. Shadow mission, real mission. Conventional life, intentional life. Shadow mission or real mission. Conventional life or intentional life. And here's the rub. Here's why this is so tough for us, church. You see, we get so wrapped up living in a conventional world and our conventional jobs and our conventional families and our conventional neighborhoods, and we drive our conventional cars and we eat at our conventional restaurants and we take our